Hi, Kevin Coupe here, and this is FaceTime with the Content Guy. I have a few things on my mind this morning I'd like to share with you. Let's see, let's start with yesterday. Yesterday, I went to the Apple store and I bought a new iPhone. Now, the reason I did this is I wasn't being self-indulgent here. I actually have an iPhone that is so old, they hadn't even started assigning numbers to them yet. I have the original equipment. And, while I still love it, and it still works, and still make phone calls, the fact is, some of the software they have coming out for the new computers and the new software and stuff like that, it just can't handle it. So it was time to upgrade to the new iPhone 4S. And this seems pretty cool. I can't really rave about it yet because I haven't had it long enough. But I have to tell you, I'm looking forward to playing with it. But that's not the point. What I really want to talk about is Savannah. Savannah was the young woman who took care of me yesterday at the Apple store, and she was fantastic. From the moment she started working with me, she answered all my questions. She was patient with an old guy like me that doesn't quite get it. She figured out with me what I needed to do. She helped me figure out what plan was best. She was great in terms of helping me transfer data from my old iPhone to the new iPhone because the people on the setup desk were kind of busy. I mean, she did what we talk about a lot here on Morning News Beat. And she took ownership of my experience, and it was, it just made the experience that much better. So I thought I would share that with you. I wish more employees were like that. I wish more companies would encourage and motivate their employees to be like that. So kudos to the Apple store and big kudos to Savannah. Now, it was interesting, and when I was done with buying the iPhone, one of the things I wanted to get for it was I wanted to get one of those little protective films they put on here because it protects the glass from scratching. Now, the Apple store used to both sell them and install them, but for various reasons, I think it just got too complicated. They've stopped installing them. It got to be a little bit of a mess. So Savannah says to me, listen, there's a kiosk right outside. Go to them. They sell it for the same amount that we sell it for, and they'll install it. This is great. The company was called Ghost Armor. And they were terrific. Again, a great shopping experience. It wasn't very expensive. The guy did everything I needed it to do. And, and there apparently are hundreds of these things around the country. And this fascinated me. Think about that. How many businesses exist out there today that would not have been possible just a few years ago? These are businesses that there was no need for them at a certain point, and now they're cropping up all over the place. And I think that's a really important business lesson. I mean, are we constantly, vigilantly on the lookout for business opportunities that might be made possible by demographic changes and cultural trends and technology introductions that, we didn't need them, we couldn't even have imagined having them a few years ago, and now suddenly it's a big opportunity for us. I think that's something we really have to be vigilant about. And finally, I want to report back something to you about something that happened last weekend. As you may know, I was on the road with my daughter looking at colleges. And I have to tell you, one of the things I was most impressed about in looking at colleges were the cafeterias. These places are amazing. They're extraordinary, like enormous food courts, and they're talking about local, and they're talking about organic, and they're talking about sustainability, and they're talking about good taste. They're talking about lots of different things like that. And I think that's really interesting because I think what it means is kids getting out of college now, they're going to be better informed about food, and they're going to have more educated palates than perhaps they did certainly when I went to school. When I went to school, they served eggs in the morning. That was the big thing. In fact, I ate so many of them because the idea of having an unlimited supply of eggs, I ended up getting hives. I got allergic to them and had to stop eating eggs for 10 years. That was a big deal. There are so many more options today. These kids are coming out of school much more educated about food. That raises the bar for marketers who are going to have to deal with them afterwards. Anyway, that was just something I noticed last week. I thought you'd be interested in it. Anyway, that's what's on my mind this Thursday morning. And as always, I want to hear what's on your mind.